There is an update on the exemption that was announced, I think, just yesterday. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions, and let's go ahead and break this down. So if you guys have not heard the original news, I made a video about it yesterday, and I tried to explain it as simple as possible. So Trump was exempting phones, computers, and other electronic devices from reciprocal tariffs, including from China. The part that I broke down is that, hey, this doesn't really seem like Trump is holding his ground on trying to stick it to China, because consumer electronics are one of China's biggest export. So how are you trying to stick it to someone, but then exempting the very product that is their biggest export? That's what I expressed. Nonetheless, I wanted to break down the details. And of course, this was positive news, a huge positive catalyst for companies like Apple, who of course manufacture their products in China, and as well as for Nvidia, right? When it comes down to semiconductors. With that being said, we did not know how the markets were going to react, but it doesn't take much understanding to really understand that, yeah, it was probably going to be a pretty solid positive catalyst for both Apple and Nvidia. But boy, I don't know why he's coming out swinging. I just want to break it down for you guys, and this is my second time reading it. I want to break it down with you guys and share with you my first thoughts. So this is on Truth Social, which is Trump's social media application. Nobody is getting off the hook. So right off the bat, he is putting in quotes, off the hook. With my interpretation of this, I think Trump, just like it would be assumed, got a lot of backlash because these exemptions are very favorable for billion and trillion dollar companies, such as Apple, where other companies that maybe don't fall under that consumer electronic category might still have to pay the 145% tariff, right? So it does seem very favorable for Apple and Nvidia. Let's just call it for what it is. But again, I also do understand why it's offered to them, because they are huge in the US. They do offer a lot of jobs, and it would completely impact some of the most valuable companies that's publicly traded. Is it favorable for those companies? Of course. Does it kind of make sense on what happened? Yes. Nonetheless, it seems like he is really trying to make things clear of off the hook, because Apple and Nvidia were originally considered to be off the hook when it came down to these 145% tariffs. So nobody is getting off the hook for the unfair trade balances and non-monetary tariff barriers that other countries have used against us, especially not China, which by far treats us the worst. I don't find that to be far-fetched. I think we hear that about China all the time. They don't play by the rules, and they definitely have things very one-sided. But again, China is huge when it comes down to manufacturing. They pretty much control all laterals when it comes down to that type of supply chain. So they've positioned themselves to have that part of control, right? Just like the US can use their leverage to renegotiate trade deals. I mean, China is another world power. So it's kind of, again, two really strong and powerful countries bumping heads, right? So there was no tariff exemption announced on Friday. What? I mean, that's what I thought was announced, right? A 145% tariff was applied to every export out of China. But then we heard the news that these specific items that were just talked about just a few days ago, Trump exempts phones, computers, and other electronics. So again, I don't understand that. So there was no tariff exemption announced on Friday. These products are subject to the existing 20% fentanyl tariffs, and they are just moving to a different tariff bucket. Now I feel like he's elaborating or maybe backtracking to try to make it seem like, well, they're not just completely getting off the hook. There's still going to be some tariffs, but now they're just in these different buckets. I can only speak for myself. I've dedicated, I would say, more time probably than the average American, obviously, as it's part of my job. I've never heard of these tariff buckets that were applicable for consumer electronics that were originally exempt yesterday. This is my first time hearing about these. Oh no, they were just moved into different tariff buckets. So to me, it kind of just sounds like a scapegoat. The fake news knows this, but refuses to report it. That could be the case. Again, I get my news off of a lot of these different social media applications, but also I look for the news, and I'm on Google and I'm looking for the different news outlets. But I also am on conservative, news blogs, and none of them talked about these tariff buckets. You guys let me know down in the comment section what you think. So we are taking a look at semiconductors and the whole electronic supply chain and the upcoming national security tariff investigation. What has been exposed is that we need to make products in the United States. I'm not against that. I don't believe that we're going to find that solution or create that solution anytime soon. It's going to take years when it comes down to developing, not just, creating the location where this stuff can be manufactured, because it's not. But then on top of that, all the raw materials, where are we going to import that from? Because most likely we cannot get it from the United States. So then taking that into consideration, is that going to be tariffed? And then now is it not only going to be more expensive to produce it in the United States, but it creates more jobs. So I get that. But then now we have to import those raw materials that might also be more expensive. Just food for thought, right? Something to take into consideration. It says, and so make these products in the United States. Yep, something to definitely explore. And that we will not be held hostage by other countries, especially hostile trading nations like China. Again, I do agree. China is notorious for this, which will do everything within its power to disrespect the American people. We also cannot let them continue to abuse us on trade, like they have for decades. Those days are over. The golden age of America, which includes the upcoming tax and regulation cuts, a substantial amount which just has been approved by the House and the Senate, which means more and better paying jobs, many making products in our nation and treating other countries, in particular China, the same way they have treated us. The bottom line is that our country will be bigger and better and stronger than ever before. We will make America great again. So this was announced on April 13th, 2025 at 12:36 p.m. So about an hour and a half ago. This bottom portion, the final message, is kind of more talking about the good that I believe he thinks that he's doing. And I get that. I mean, obviously I'm biased on this. A lot of you guys might not agree, but I would love to see up and coming tax cuts to some degree and regulation cuts. Obviously, I speak for myself. I'm okay with sharing that with you guys. I don't think many of you guys would be surprised. But what do you guys think? This whole thing of kind of like backtracking of off the hook, I think that's a response to him getting so much heat about Apple and Nvidia getting off the hook. I've never heard anything about these tariff buckets, but now he's talking about it like no one was reporting it. I think just like how he does with these messages, he could have quickly followed up with a message, as he has many times before, of saying, no, these companies are still going to fall under these tariff buckets, but he didn't, right? And if these other platforms are not doing it, then he could have taken initiative and done it himself. But I think he didn't care to, because it was such good news that could have caused a really strong positive catalyst for the market. And why would he want to mess with that? But now, because it kind of backfired, because people are saying, hey, you're just letting big billion and trillion dollar companies off the hook, while smaller businesses will still have to pay the 145% tariff. I do understand people's frustration, but I also do see why Apple and Nvidia, if they either called or tried to negotiate of like, hey, like we have all of these jobs in the US, they do have that leverage. I mean, it's the real world. It's the world that we live in. I'm not here to say that it should always be that way, but you have to call it for what it is. Apple is one of the most valuable companies that's publicly traded. They do create thousands and tens of thousands of jobs. And this would directly impact not just their stock, but obviously maybe how many people they would have to lay off. So also something to take into consideration. It's negotiation. So interesting. Futures open in the next 3 hours, if I'm not mistaken. I've already noticed as soon as this news got announced, Crypto reacted in a negative way. As you guys could see, this massive sell-off. So we're testing support. What do you guys think? Is this good news? Is this negative news? I was actually just talking to one of my buddies named Kimbo, and the way that he expressed it is markets hate uncertainty. And to me, this sounds uncertain. There is also a tweet that I shared on my Instagram. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's linked in the description down below. I post multiple updates throughout the day. And the tweet that was shared was an update on that the US has no intention of negotiating or renegotiating with China. But China hasn't even responded to their tariffs because, like, to me, and again, like, I know some people might hear this and be like, why are you so against Trump now all of a sudden? No, you guys know that I've been on his side. I love the idea of these tariffs because I'm not surprised by them, because he's talked about them as he was running to be reelected. So I knew that tariffs were going to be, in the short term at least, cause a negative catalyst, which I wanted it to, right? I wanted markets to drop. I love loading up during these deals. Trust me, I'm not against that. My thing is he's not sticking to what he's saying. Like, one moment he says he doesn't care about the market, then he says things to drive demand up into the market. Then he says, no, exempt from these tariffs because they're billion or trillion dollar companies, right? And they're huge exports. But then all of a sudden now he says, no, you're not off the hook. But it's, we have no intention of negotiating with China. But why would China even want to negotiate with you when you just allowed them and exempted them for one of their biggest exports? As we talked about, consumer electronics are their biggest exports to the US. So why do they need to renegotiate with you when you've already given them one of the biggest, exemptions? So it's just too much talking. Like, let's get to work. And obviously, it's much easier to say this from the sidelines, no question about that. But the biggest thing that I want to remind you, the biggest question that I want you to ask yourself every single day today and moving forward this week is this temporary? In the sense of, if the markets are selling off, whatever news gets announced, if the markets push up, is it temporary? Whatever news is being announced, dissect it, understand it, and ask yourself, is this valuable enough, sustainable enough that it's, actually going to be the reason that markets begin to recover, or is it temporary? Only, and again, don't sell it to yourself, even if the markets do sell off. Is it temporary? What's the negative catalyst? Is it substantial, or is it only temporary? Because that can allow you to make either an impulsive decision or save you from making an impulsive decision that you later end up regretting, because you understand that, yes, it should be temporary. So again, during times like this, it is so exciting because there's so much money to be made. You don't need to be shorting the market as you've seen me do within our live sessions. That's not for everyone. But now, and if markets continue to drop, let them drop. Right? We all know that that's the best time to invest long-term. Just don't do it with margin and don't do it with leverage. Do it with a dollar amount that you actually have and that you can tolerate the time that it will take for markets to recover. Don't overcomplicate it by investing in super high risk stocks. It's even just pick one stock, even just buy one share if that's what you want to do. But again, the most important part long-term is to get invested. I'm so excited to keep you guys up to date this week. I hope to see you for our live trading session on Monday. I might even go live a little bit later today for our Sunday stock talk. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I hope that I earn your thumbs up. Do not forget, if you want to tune into my live trading sessions, our sale is still going on. It breaks down to $1.35 per day to watch me trade live every single day right at market open for about 30 minutes to an hour. And it's the second link in the description down below. So you can click that link, sign up right now, and get ready to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow when the market opens. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.